Guess what? This is Law & Order SVU Season 3, Episode 18. Guilt. We open up and this dad-looking motherfucker's meeting this teenager at the bus station. Hey, long time no see. Younger dude's looking nervous. It's my mom. I think she knows. And as they're talking, we see Detective Finn Tutuola walking behind him. He's looking very nonchalant, literally whistling. And as they turn and walk away, he sees Stabler next to him too. The music's picking up and this is clearly not a normal meet and greet. We jump over and see that Cabot is in a room listening to their conversation being recorded on this big machine. That's right, this is a sting. And that's not a dad at all. That's a sex offender. Oh, but the conversation isn't yielding any evidence. Cabot's like, we need him to say more. Jump back to the older dude and he's like, are you okay? You look really stressed out. And that's when the victim leans in and says, run. No. Cragen jumps up, springs into action. Move in, don't let him get by the tracks. Benson's the first to move in. Mr. Barnett, can we have a word with you? This pervert takes off running, making specific care to body slam like 3 old people on the way out. The whole team's in hot pursuit. Who's gonna get him? It's Finn who gets to do the honors. And now that the perp is in handcuffs, they're all like, what the fuck happened? Cragen says, the kid warned him. That kid is the victim, Sam Kavanaugh. And this episode has a lot of complicated emotions, so strap in. So we jump to an interrogation room with Benson and Stabler, and they're talking to Barnett and his lawyer. Disclaimer, not all defense attorneys are like this, but this guy is a rat. His client didn't do anything illegal. In fact, he says the only illegal thing that happened is that they used a child to try and entrap him. Okay, Barnett. Sam Kavanaugh told us that you've been taking him to your house for the last 4 years to perform sex acts on you. Oh, that's not true. Sam's a nice kid, but he likes to make a lot of things up. Ah, well, we knew you would say that because you know how? Because you said that about another kid back in 1985 and then again in 1990. No, those were different. Yeah, even though he pled guilty to coercion and endangering a child. Barnett says that he felt sorry for Sam because he didn't have a dad. If anything, I'm guilty for caring too much. Fuck this guy. On the other side of the glass, Craig and Cabot and Huang are like, this asshole is good. Huang's like, well, he's been in the system long enough and knows how to play it. Now we're not even sure if Sam's gonna want to testify. Part of Sam still cares for Barnett. Cabot and Cragen are both acting like they don't understand this dynamic, even though they work in the sex crimes unit. What? Huang says that Barnett chooses kids that are vulnerable. Classic predator move. Huang is thinking that as a gay man, he shouldn't go in. Victims at his age a lot of times think because their perpetrator was male, they might be gay. You might see Huang as an accusation. Okay, so Cabot's gonna try it. It doesn't go well. Sam gets pissed, stands up and yells, I'm not an F word a couple of times, and storms out. After Sam's explosion, Mom comes out and sees how mad he is. So what does she do? She turns and takes it directly out on Cabot. I came to you because I didn't know where else to go, but I won't put him through this again. We're done. Well, shit. Barnett's processing, but he'll be out on bail tomorrow afternoon, which means we have until then to bring a case against him without Sam Kavanaugh. So the plan is we'll talk to Barnett's therapist, the one that he had to mandatorily see after his last conviction. Oh, and we need to get into this guy's apartment. Stabler thinks guys like this are collectors. They got plenty of probable cause, so they head right over. And guess what they find? Nothing incriminating. I mean, like, tons of porn, but all adult and hetero. But they also find every kind of video game you can think of and tons of sports memorabilia. But this is super classic for an abuser. Wants to make his place the funnest place for boys to be. That's part of the grooming. In the meantime, Munch and Finn are checking in with a therapist. Barnett's one of the most talented liars he's ever come across. During their sessions, he admitted to molesting over 100 boys, but no names or dates or anything helpful. We jump over and Cabot is presenting her case to bad bitch Liz Donnelly. She used to have Cabot's job. She's got the vocal fry of a 30-year veteran smoker and the haircut of a 90s cool aunt. And she is not impressed with what Cabot is telling her. So you've got nothing but a victim who won't testify. Yet. And detectives can still investigate. How much more time are we gonna waste on this one pedophile? Cabot Cabot gets real ballsy. Can I just remind you that when you had my job, you let this motherfucker off on coercion? The way that Donnelly turns around and looks at Cabot will make your beehole just tighten right up. Donnelly's advice is to basically force Kavanaugh to testify. So we jump to the Kavanaugh's apartment. Cabot's sitting across from Mom. They can't just hear it from me. And if they just hear it from you, it's hearsay. It has to be Sam. Mom is clearly dealing with a ton of guilt. Don't let the man who did this walk away unpunished. So Mom goes into the next room to talk to Sam. And instead of telling him that he has got to testify like I think she's gonna do, he starts bawling and just says, you do whatever you want to do. If you want me to tell this lady go eat shit, we'll do that too. The music swells. I'll do it. I'll do the trial. Okay, and I've seen a shit ton of Law and Order, and this surprised me. Like, hand over my mouth surprised me. We jump ahead, and Sam is sitting with Stabler before he goes in to testify. He's clearly nervous. Stabler tries to ease his anxiety. The first time I did this, I was so nervous. I did a terrible job. Great, Stabler. Listen, kid, nobody in there thinks this is gonna be easy for you. It takes a lot of guts to do what you're doing. This seems to land pretty well, and just in time because Cabot's at the door. Okay, we're ready. Sam does a great job giving details that are tough and make me need to shower. They break for lunch. They've only got a little bit more to do afterward. But as they're walking out, Cabot looks over. Oh, damn it. Guess who's coming down the hall? Roy Barnett and his shit-ass lawyer. Stabler tries to get in between Sam and Roy. Keep walking, dirtbag. And then out of nowhere, you hear somebody screaming, "Burn in hell, you sick son of a bitch!" Barnett gets pushed into Cabot and they both careen onto the floor. The dude who's screaming, we've never seen him before. They whisk him away. They rush Sam off to the elevator, make sure he's okay. And then they get a spatula and scoop Cabot off of the floor. So we jump over to an interview room where that yelling guy is introduced. His name is Tommy Peory. He's another one of Barnett's victims. He's apologizing to Benson and Stabler. Sorry, I thought I was over it. And then I saw his face on the news when you arrested him, and it just all came back. His abuse started when he was 11 years old. Barnett coached his baseball team and actually abused a whole bunch of the teammates. And they keep going back and forth in this weird version of the blame game. I kept coming back for 5 years. Tommy, it doesn't matter. You could have gone back for 10 years. The second he put his hand on you, he took away your choice. Yeah, but when I was older, I sent some of my younger friends to him. Whose fault is that? Barnett's, dude. He was the adult, you were the kid. Okay, but Tommy's here now, and he wants to press charges. There's one problem. You guessed it. There's a stupid statute of limitations. So that's it? I waited too long? Total bullshit. And if you feel that heat start to rise, just wait, because in the next scene, that rat defense attorney is telling Cabot that his client will generously not press charges on his attacker. Oh, and he's willing to consider a plea deal for a misdemeanor instead of 3 felony charges. That's not how this works, dude. Either you're a complete idiot or you think I am. Come on, there's gotta be a little wiggle room. Not this time, motherfucker. When Cabot tells Cragen about this, she is still running high on rage. He's as bad as his client. Lucky I didn't knock his teeth down his throat. Cragen's like, I'd pay money to see that. So Benson has a possible list of other victims from Tommy Peory. Cabot needs to brief Sam on the next part of the trial. She'll ask if he knows any other victims while she's meeting with him. During the meeting, Sam shares this really painful memory about this non-sexual, just really fun day that he had with Barnett. And he's kind of slowly coming to grips with the fact that Barnett never really cared about him. It's almost over. I know. Jump to the middle of that night, and Cabot gets a phone call. Sam tried to kill himself. Mixed his meds and overdosed. He's still alive, but they're working on him right now. We're back at the precinct, and everybody is bummed. Especially Cabot. She cannot catch a break. But she's thinking. Scrub the phone lines. Did Barnett call him? Munch, who's already done this work, says it was the other way around. There was a 15-second phone call where Sam had called Barnett. So that means it would be tricky to get Barnett on witness tampering. Okay, so remember all those leads from earlier of other victims? They ran them all down, they found one dude. But you're not gonna like it. He's doing time at Sing Sing. For what else? Being a pedophile. Cabot's like, set up the meeting. Meanwhile, she's gotta go save the case because Barnett's shit lawyer just put in a motion to dismiss. We've got Cabot, Barnett's defense attorney, and they're both talking to the judge. They go back and forth, and just like the rest of this episode, Cabot Cabot comes out on bottom. There's this whole thing of a right to a speedy trial, you know, because the guy is white. So the judge is going to give Cabot 3 days. So now we gotta move. We're at Sing Sing talking to Ben Tucker. What do they specifically want to know from him? Where does Roy Barnett keep the proof of his abuse? The tokens, the pictures. Oh, but it's not that easy. Ben Tucker wants to know what he's going to get out of it. Cabot stares at him with a dagger in each eye. If your information leads to Barnett's conviction, I will consider your request to transfer. Only offer yes or no right now. You know she's not fucking around. So he says, yeah. Roy couldn't help himself. He sent videotapes of abuse to every one of his victims. Sam might still have them. Oh, we gotta get a search warrant for Kavanaugh's house. Mom is clearly not going to give that consent. So when Benson and Stabler pass this information on to Cabot, you know that, oh, they asked Mom, but she said no. I guess that's all. Cabot is pissed. I tried the cases handed to me by this squad. If you don't like this evidence, find me some more. I can't do my job and yours. Stabler's like, excuse me? Cragen's all, Cabot, you're out of line. And she wheels on her best friend, Cragen. I am not out of line, and I don't work for you. You work for me at my discretion. Your sole purpose is to bring me a case I can prosecute, not one I have to fix. Goddamn, I could watch that all day. We jump back to the courtroom. The judge is denying Cabot's request for a continuance. It's past the 3 days, and the trial is dismissed. Barnett can go free. But do you think Cabot is done? No. She goes directly to the judge, like as she's getting off the elevator, to ask for a search warrant. And the judge says no. To add insult to injury, she also tells Alex that she looks like hell. Go get some sleep. But this whole episode is not gonna take no for an answer. Cabot calls Benson and Stabler and tells them to meet her at the Kavanaugh's house. She must have called in a favor and gotten a warrant. When Sam's mom opens the door, she's obviously pissed to see Cabot there. She fucking hates Cabot. And Cabot tells her her residence is considered a crime scene. Mom's not having it and goes to slam the door, and Cabot slams it back open. This doesn't feel super legal to me, but let's just keep watching. In a secret cubby in the back of his closet, they find a package from Barnett containing a whole bunch of videotapes. Bingo. This allows them to drive out and arrest Barnett, who's in the process of moving. Benson and Stabler walk in all victorious to the precinct. Barnett's getting processed. We're gonna go get some beers. And you see Cragen darken the doorway behind them. You two get your asses in my office. What's going on, Captain? He thinks they searched her house without a search warrant. What? No, there's definitely a search warrant, right? Uh-oh, all signs point to Cabot. So we are back in front of that same judge, arguing if Barnett's Fourth Amendment rights to privacy have been violated. And basically, Cabot does a little jujitsu. Yeah, Fourth Amendment rights were violated. Mrs. Kavanaugh's, not your shit-ass client, because it wasn't his residence. Therefore, it has no bearing on the case whatsoever. The judge doesn't like it, but she has to agree. The videotape evidence is in. Motion to suppress the evidence is denied. Obviously, this judge rips Cabot a new butthole. And when she walks out and sees Benson and Stabler, she's basically like, sorry, not sorry, bitches. I got places to be. And that place is like 3 inches away from Barnett as he's getting sentenced for all the shit that was in that videotape. Kavanaugh's mom is there. The other victims are there. Finally, some sort of justice. And in our final scene, badass Liz fucking Donnelly reams her up and down and then asks her if all this crusading eased her guilt about Sam. Name of the episode, everybody drink. Nope. And that was Law & Order SVU Season 3, Episode 18. Jum jum.